Hi, this is Christy Wheeler, and this is my first demonstration for mobile forensics. Today I decided to use Autopsy. I know that is a piece of software we've already kind of worked on a little bit, but I had great difficulty finding a open source mobile forensics tool that was either compatible with some of my mobile products like my phone, tablet, and things of that nature, or I had a difficult time just finding something that was free to try. So anyway, instead of using a standard typical device like a mobile phone, what I decided to do was use a USB drive. I found one in my desk drawer. I have no idea what's on it. So we'll take a look at that first and just see what's on it and where we are with that. So it looks like I've got some files and some assignments from this class that I saved on here, maybe for working with another computer. So there are 11 items, and we will take note of that. We'll close that out, and then we'll go ahead and open up Autopsy. And I may have a few pauses here. My computer is a little slow, and also my internet is also extremely slow here at home. So I'll be taking a few pauses so that there's not these long spaces of time where there's nothing being shown. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a new case. And we will just call this Mobile Forensics Demo 1. And I'll just have the file sent to the desktop. Click Next. And we'll call this Case 1. And then the examiner, of course, will be myself. And we'll click Finish. And I'm going to pause it right here because this is a portion of the process that does take a little bit. So I will come back when that is completed. Okay, so the next phase is to add a data source. And what I'm going to do is just keep it here on local disk. Click Next. And then the disk drives will pop up here in a minute once they are through reading. And we'll choose the USB drive. And we'll just leave the time zone here for Eastern. And I'm just going to try to keep everything the same and keep all the default settings here. And then we'll pause again. This is another phase that takes a little bit. Okay, I'm back. That phase finally finished, and we're now at the end here of Add Data Source. It's been added to the local database. Files are being analyzed, so we can click Finish. And we have some results here. However, it is still not ready. Even though this says 100%, it needs to finish completing and complete in full at this portion right here before we can actually look at all of the files that are listed here. So once again, I'm going to pause until this area right here is complete instead of 100%, because it says it's still analyzing, and then at that time we can take a look at these areas of information. And so we see file types, deleted files, and then file size. This shows just what kind of file types we have in here. It shows by extension and by MIME type. We'll click on that, and it shows that there are 63 images. And some other kinds, although these are 0. This just gives you an idea of what you can view. And then here we'll go to deleted files, and I found this very interesting. If you'll notice at the beginning of the demo when I showed a shot of the actual USB drive, there were actually only 11 files in, but now we have 712. So that tells me that 701 items were deleted, and we should be able to view those. This breaks down how many files we have that are a gig or more. This range is 50 to 200 megabytes and so forth, so that's another area. Results kind of breaks down, as you can see, accounts, interesting items, email messages, keyword hits, and any extracted content. And then you have the option here to tag various items that you find. And then, of course, there's an option for reports if you go up here and generate report. So let's go back to deleted files, since that seems to be the bulk of the content that's in this USB drive. And as you can see, there are quite a few. I have them sorted by the time that they were modified. Of course, here's one from 1981. Obviously, that is probably not the case, but it's probably an older file that was given that date. But we can scroll through here. We can see some image files that were on this USB drive at one time, and then, of course, other various files, and the list goes on through the 700. One of the other things that you can do is you can click on timeline, and hopefully we'll do this quickly. Okay, we're getting an error message. You're trying to update the timeline. DB before ingest has been completed, and that's this area right here that I've been waiting on for quite some time, and I'm sure it's taken a long time because of the 712 files. But I'll see if it will pull up at least a little bit of an incomplete one while it's still doing that. Okay, it looks like it may. It's going to take the information that has been analyzed thus far and give us a timeline. And I'm going to pause right here just in case. Well, maybe I won't. Okay, it may not give us a full timeline at this time since it's still analyzing down here. What you would normally see here is a list of all of the files, and they will be using this modified time in a timeline, and it would stretch out and show the gaps in between the times in which these files were first created, which is a good tool, especially generating a report and pulling old deleted files, because a lot of times time is super important, or the creation of the file itself. You may get something now. But as you can see, you can change your units from years, days, hours, seconds, just however you need to view your files in a timeline type instance. Okay, I paused that portion because each little report or section that I keep trying to do, there's a lot of pausing there, and I still think it's due to the analyzing of these 712 files. As you can see here, this is an example of the timeline of these files that are here, and right now they're grouped by year, so you see a huge gap, and that's probably that first file we talked about from 1981. And so if we move them into days, it will update that, and it will filter those items. And you can do this, for hours and seconds, again, just based on how you need to group the information that you're analyzing. So that's a pretty neat feature. And then, of course, as with any forensic analysis software, there's the option to generate a report. You can have them in different formats. You can do HTML, Excel. I prefer Excel because it's easy to manipulate. So we'll tell it to do all results in an Excel. Okay, that's complete. So then we'll go here to the file where this case is being made and go to reports. And there is our Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so the Excel spreadsheet finally pulled up, and as you can see, there are tabs here. The first one is a summary. It gives the case name, number, examiner, and the number of images. And then the next tab here is keyword hits, and had plugged in keywords and gotten any information, it would set it up just like what we see here. Obviously under tags, I don't have any keyword tags. We didn't do that in this. And then here, same thing. It would list out any files that have been tagged, and this is the information it would give you, and that way you would be able to manipulate that, sort it by its time, any comments you make, the file, and so forth. And then the last tab will be tagged results, and again, this is how it's sorted, and you will be able to view that from here. So that is the end of my demonstration for autopsy using a USB device for demo 1. This is Christy Wheeler again. Thanks.